All right, so okay, I'm starting here. Now, what we're looking at here now is the concept of Brahman, the supreme being, in relationship to Atma, the soul. This is a big, heavy concept. And what I'm going to be doing, I do have just a couple of slides on that, but I want to use the whiteboard for this. And how do I do that? Oh, gosh, you've got to be kidding me. How can I do that? Oh, yes, share screen. Yes. Okay, fine. Share screen. Okay, fine. I just want to share screen. Okay, good. Whiteboard. There we go. Share the whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to right now draw and just, I don't know, squiggly line, whatever. Okay. Now, Brahman, let me put here as some text. You know what? I should have, Brahman Nirguna, which means without qualities. Okay, and then here text is Brahman Saguna with qualities. Okay, and so I probably shouldn't have recorded that. I should have done this before. Brahman Nirguna without qualities. This is the real. And then this here is Maya. Oops. Illusion. Oops. Yeah. The realm of appearance. Okay, great. Okay, and so how reality gets seen here, or Brahman, the supreme being, gets understood. Now I'm just wondering here, why is this? Maybe I need to make this full screen. Okay. Aha, there we go. Okay, and then this moves. Can this move? Okay, for now. I don't know. Do you see this? I don't know if you see that. I hope you don't. Oh, it's my first time doing this here. Okay, so what happens here is the supreme being is seen, Brahman is seen as being the source of all that is, right? And exists at two levels here. Oops. Can I edit this? Can't I edit this? Oh, that didn't work. Okay, anyways, there should be a bracket there. Oh, this is terrible. So anyways, the supreme being exists at two levels of reality. The unmanifest, Brahman Nirguna, is unmanifest. So let me, can't I edit this? How do I edit this? Oh, this is really frustrating here. I want to edit this text. Can't I edit this text? Oh, why can't I edit the text? You'd think you'd be able to edit the text. Edit. Is there an edit format? Eraser format. Oh, okay. Just how can I change this? Oh, okay. Okay, Brahman. This is Brahman Unmanifest. Okay, and this here is Brahman Manifest in the world of names and. Okay. So reality is basically divided into two realms. All that is, Brahman, the supreme being, is the source of all that is, the source of it all. And as the source, Brahman is unmanifest. But then as a source manifests, this world, this universe that we see and experience here, this is a manifestation of the supreme being, a manifestation of Brahman into the world of name and form. Okay, so can I do the line thing again here? Draw. Okay, let's see here. Line, squiggles, whatever, I don't know. So that here, for example, oh, I wonder if I can move those. This is not very good. Okay, whoops. This here is a tree. Okay. This here would be I don't know, I'm going to try, let's say it's a horse. Okay. Pretend with me, dear people, that this is a horse that I'm trying to draw. That's its tail. Okay, takaboo. And then here, this is me And this is you. Okay. And ta 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 ta. And a little smile here. Okay, and smile here. Okay, you get the idea. There's a me and a you. Those are supposed to be dots for eyes. Okay. And so the way it's seen is that this world of what we see, here is a tree of a particular form and shape, and we give it the name tree. Here is the form and shape of a horse, okay, you go with me here, and we give it the name horse. And then here is the form and shape of me as Linda Christensen. That's my name. And then there's a shape of you, of Joe Schwartz, and that's your name, right? So we are here in the world of names and forms. And this world of name and forms, and let me go back to a text here. Oh gosh, see, this is why I like using you know what, I should have just used my blackboard or whatever paper thing we're doing. Let's see. This is the world of the many, of multiplicity, okay? Of differentiation, where there's a me versus a you, a this versus a that, many things. Up here, the source of the real and true, is another texted here, this is the world of the one. It's just pure unity, pure oneness. There's no differentiation. There's no this or that, a me, a you. All there is just pure beingness. Brahman, unmanifest, pure beingness in a sense, okay? The source of all that is, right? So we've got this kind of division. And hopefully this makes some sense. I might redo all of this. But anyway, so from the one, it manifests into the world of forms. And an image, a metaphor that's used in the Upanishads is this, that of clay. You say you take a chunk of clay. That's pure oneness. It's just essence. It's just pure clay. But then I take a chunk of that clay and I give it the shape of, and give it the name tree. I take another chunk of that clay and shape it and give it the name horse. Another chunk of clay, shape it, give it the name Linda. Another chunk of clay, give it the name Joe, right? And so we are just different forms to which have been given different names, but in essence, we're all just clay. So we're in essence all just different forms and shapes of the one essence of clay. And that is how this world is just different forms, which we give to different names to the different things, the world of the many. But in essence, the essence within me, the essence within you, within the horse, within the tree, that essence that allows for its existence is none other than Brahman, the supreme being that is the source of all that is the essence within everything that is. Okay, hopefully you guys understand this is a very important thing to get here, okay? And so that reality kind of exists at two levels. We are living here in the world of manifestation, of manifest forms, different forms. It's a world of multiplicity and differentiation, of a me versus a you, a this versus the that, a tree versus a horse, a rock versus a plant, you know, the sky versus the earth. You know, this is the world of multiplicity and distinctions and differentiations. So it's called the realm of name and forms. And now, what is the truth? Is it true that we're all different things made up of different essences, of a different substance? Or are we just different forms of one universal essence or substance? Okay. You guys with me here? So let's say, for example, today when we're talking about what we've discovered in terms of quantum physics and things, I look at the essence. What is the essence of this hand, this flesh, this body, the essence of me? Well, sure, there's skin, and then there's bone, and there's blood, and the vessels, and yada, yada. We've got all the different parts that make up the self of this body. But then if I go deeper, I'll ask, well, what is blood made out of? What is the bone made out of? And then we go deeper and deeper to, you know, various chemicals and biochemical kind of structures and molecules. And then we go even deeper that, well, they're made up of atoms, and we go even deeper. The very essence of it is just subatomic particles. And that basically, I'm just a particular form, fundamentally, the very essence of me, I'm a particular form of energy. Well, then if I go to the table, or the tree or whatever out there and ask, what is the very essence? If I go deeper, 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 deeper into the very essence, fundamental essence of that tree, it's just a particular form of energy. So if I'm just a form of energy and that tree is a form of energy, well, then really our differences are just that we're just different forms, but of that same essence of energy, because that's all there is. That is the essence of the universe, of reality. It's just energy. Are you guys with me here? So hopefully that makes some sense. Okay. So what happens? I need to get the eraser here. Eraser. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, Schnitz Kaputski. I didn't want the whole line to go, but just a piece of it. Okay, well, anyway. So let me just draw again so that there's a line here. Okay, good. A line there. A line there. Okay, and then this here line, I want to erase. Eraser to this line. Oh, I didn't want that. Oh, yuck. Okay, line again. And so now let's just kind of go like, oh, schnitzaputzi. That's not what I want to happen. Okay, well, forget that. I should have just done it on a board thing and figured that out. So the thing is, you see, what we do, we look at that tree and we just look at the outer form, and we've closed this off. We think, aha, it's separate from the horse, and that I'm separate from Joe, and we're separate from those things, and that we're all separate. But what is being taught here is that the very essence, maybe the line here, the very essence, why is it, I don't want the eraser. I want the line. Can I go with the line? Thank you. Okay, is this working now? Okay, the very essence of that tree is no different from the very essence that make up the horse, that made up the essence of me and the essence of you, all right? That essence is the one, the supreme being, Brahman, unmanifest, Brahman, nirguna, without qualities of differentiation, without like, oh, the color green and pine needles like a tree or hairy like a horse. It has no qualities in terms of this physical material world. Whereas here in this world of manifest forms, we have qualities, like the tree is this shape, this texture, this size, yada, yada. Same thing with me, I got blue eyes, brown hair, whatever, we all have qualities of descriptors, okay, in this world of the many. But Brahman unmanifest, there are no qualities. There are no descriptors. It's just pure source of oneness, okay? So we've got these two levels of reality. Hopefully this all makes sense. That's why I love doing this live in the classroom with a big whiteboard. Now, this realm here, the world of the many here that we live in, is called Maya, the realm of appearances. The word Maya literally means illusion, but it's often very much misunderstood. Illusion doesn't mean that this world is not real, that it doesn't even exist, that all this, it doesn't exist, it's not real at all. No, what it means is that things aren't as they appear. Okay, this is a world of appearances. This is a world where it looks as though I'm in essence different and separate from you. I'm in essence separate and different from this other person, the tree and the horse. It appears that way. It looks as though we're all separate, different things, different substances. But that is, the illusion. The truth is, we're all one. The truth is, we're all the supreme being manifest in this world of forms. That's the truth. That's the real. Are you guys with me? Okay, that's what that means. Okay, and so the problem is we get caught up in the appearances and take the appearances for being the ultimate truth about things, and they're not. Okay, they're not. So that's what's sort of meant by Maya. Now, the image or the metaphor that's used, the two things. Let me do this one first. Shankara was a very important Hindu philosopher. He died, I think, 822, and he fleshes out these ideas in a particular school of philosophy called Advaita Vedanta. Okay, and we'll kind of go through that later. And Shankara used the metaphor of, say, it's night. Well, it's not quite night, it's dusk. The sun's just set, starting to get a bit dark, and you're walking down a road, to go home, right? And as you're walking down the road, up ahead, you see, a shadow of a coiled form on the road. And you think, ooh, it's a cobra. So you backtrack and you take another route home, okay? Well, then in the morning, when it's bright daylight, you walk down that same road, and what you thought was a coiled form as a cobra, you now see that it was just a rope laying on the road. So you misinterpreted, you projected on what you experienced there, a particular interpretation, conclusion. You thought it was a snake when in fact it was a rope. There was you drew the wrong conclusion. You made the wrong inference. You inferred, you deduced from that image that you saw that it was this dangerous, poisonous cobra. Okay? That is what's going on here. Is we're always misinterpreting things. We're drawing the wrong conclusions. We're drawing the wrong conclusions about reality from our experience here and now of separate and distinct forms. And we're concluding that that is the fundamental nature and truth about reality, is of separate, distinct forms of substances. That the tree is a different essence, substance, a different thing from the horse, from me, and from you. We're all different things. Okay, that's the wrong conclusion we're drawing. Similarly, a metaphor that's used, again, another one that's popular here, and this is what's kind of why sometimes they call this, well, they even call Brahman the Supreme Being as a great magician. Brahman, the Supreme Being, is a great magician who's created this illusion, this illusory experience of the world of form, names and forms and appearances. Whereas like when you go to a magical show, you've got the magician on stage and he'll bring out a woman and he'll put her in this coffin kind of box thing with her feet sticking out at one end, her head sticking out at the other end. And then he'll get out the saw and he'll cut this box in half and she's screaming. And you think, and he splits it open and her feet are wiggling here and she's screaming over there. And you think, oh my God, he's sawing her in half, right? And because this is what you're seeing, you're all there in the audience, collectively, you're all sharing the same perception, the same experience of this woman being sawn in half on stage. And then he puts the box together, puts a cape over it and goes abracadabra and opens up the box. Up, she pops and she's not sawn in half. Like, oh, wow, a miracle happened. That's the typical magical show of illusions, creating false appearances so that things look a certain way, but the actual truth is something else. Okay? And so this is what's meant by Maya, illusion. This is what this human experience is. It's really, this is a bit of a magical show of appearances that we get caught up in, that we think is the absolute truth, but it's only a relative truth. It's not the whole truth. It's not the whole story. Okay, things aren't as they appear. Okay, this is a key idea here in terms of how reality is understood and how the Supreme Being is understood. Okay, what is all understood here about the nature of Brahman. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. Now, so if Brahman is without qualities, how is Brahman best, how has Brahman been understood? Now, let me put in a text thing here. Okay. All right, now can I move these other texts out of the way? Can they move? Do they ever move? Oh, stupid thing. Okay, is Sat, which means, well, here, let me just, the word is Satchidananda, okay? And how can I do this here? Whoops, this, which means, Sat means pure being. Okay, now I need to, I'm going to make this go, go away. Go away, I want to get to my box. Oh, this is very frustrating for me. Satchidananda means pure being. Okay, I'll start another box here. Chit means pure consciousness. And Ananda, whoops, Ananda. Oh, it goes over there. Why are you doing this? I don't want you to do this. I want you to go bigger here. Okay, good. Ananda means pure bliss. Okay, so Satchidananda is seen as the best descriptor the closest thing we can come up with to describe the fundamental absolute nature of the Supreme Being Brahman as pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. That Satchidananda means pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. Okay, that is the closest that we can come to understanding the true nature of the Supreme Being, Brahman. Okay, and that this world cannot exist in and of itself. Brahman, Supreme Being, is manifest in all that is. We are one with the Supreme Being. Our essence is a part of, derived from the Supreme Being. Okay, and yet, Brahman is seen as something invisible, something you can't immediately detect. All right, it's really largely unseen. And so again, a metaphor in terms of this essence, this universal essence that's the source of all things. It permeates all things, is present in all things, is the source of all things. That essence is sort of like, when you put some salt in water and you stir it and that salt dissolves. You can't find the salt. You can't see it. You can't just pull it out. Like it's there. It's invisibly present, but yet permeates all of it. All the water, is permeated with salt, every drop. Okay, but yet you can't see it or you can't point it out. That is the nature of Brahman. Brahman is in this invisible essence that you can't just point to and say, well, there it is. Okay, yet it's present everywhere, permeates all that is, and is the essence and source of all that is. All right, that is the nature of the Supreme Being. So hopefully that made sense. Okay. So let me see here. Is there anything that I needed to include? I think I'm pretty much got the key idea here. I hope that is, yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to just, stop the share here for a moment. And I don't know how long this went. I'm just going to pause recording because it's such a pain to renew. And I'll start on the next slide in a sec. And resume share. Okay, good. So I think I'm back here now. Okay, recording, good. You can see my screen. I think so. Yes. Okay, good. And you know what? I'm gonna do it this way instead of doing the present because that always messes me up. So here's just a slide on, again, just basically what I said. All right, but I need to kind of flesh it out so you can understand it. The Brahman exists at two levels: as nirguna without qualities, as a source formless unity, the one, Satchidananda, and as Saguna with qualities, manifest as the universe. Okay, and this realm is the realm of appearances, illusion, Maya. Okay, the world of the many. Okay, and I'll have another little video there that somebody else put together to help on this. Okay, so to move to the next slide. Okay, good. So then, of course, this raises the issue as to, well, who am I? What is the nature of the self? Right? What is the nature of the self? So the word for the essential you, the essence of you, is Atma. Okay, and just as there's sort of two levels to reality, and it's almost like there's then two levels to the self. There is, on the one hand, the illusory self, that is the self that's incarnated in this bodily physical form. That has a physical body, emotional makeup in terms of personality of what I like and I don't like, and I feel this and yada yada, just my personality, and then my mind in terms of that I think this and I have these thoughts, I've learned this, I read this book, I have all these ideas going on in my head. Okay? So body, heart, and mind. Those three kind of key components is what we think is who we are, that makes up the self. That this is Linda Christensen here, okay, with this body, this personality, and this mind here in terms of what I've all learned, what I all think, what I all believe, all my experiences as a child growing up in a particular country, particular home, went to these schools, read those books, this university, whatever, that all that stuff, this makes up me, and this is who I am. Okay, now here is held, well, there's also more to who you are. There is a very important, the biggest, most important piece missing. The essential self, your soul, your eternal self that really was never born and never dies, has no beginning and has no end. The soul that has taken on this bodily form of Linda Christensen, okay? That is the essence of who you are. And so the religious goal here is to realize the true nature of yourself, that your essential self, your soul, Atma, is indeed none other than Brahman, that you are one with the Supreme Being, that you are a manifestation of the Supreme Being in this incarnated form. Okay? So, let me just think here. I'm going to stop share. Yeah, so hopefully you get that. Now I'm going to just go back to doing a bit of a, oh, my wonderful little whiteboard here. And it's a new whiteboard, I think. No, it's not. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, let's just, let's just see how this works. So, for example, okay, remember how I had that line of a me? And then EU. Whoops, oops. Okay, let me erase this part here. That's a bit bad. Oh gosh, does it erase the whole thing? It does. Why does it erase the whole thing? Why can't it just erase where I want it to erase? Okay. Oh gosh, this is so hard. Okay, there's two people. Now, oh, yeah. Okay. So who I think I am is, this is my body. Okay, I'm going to be for body. Okay, my physical body. Haha. And then there's a you over here. And you will have your body. And so I have a different body from you, right? And then in terms of my emotional makeup, and I like to just put H for heart, which is my personality, my likes, my dislikes, what I want in life, you know, my personality makeup, right? I call that heart. Well, I've got a different personality from you, okay? And then in terms of my mind, in terms of what I all learn, what I all think, what I all believe, you know, all my life experiences where I grew up and stuff, that's my mind. And so these kind of three outer layers is what I think makes up myself, of who I am. Oh boy, this is bad. And this is where you need text, okay? Oh gosh. All right, that's myself. This is me. And then you have a different sense of self as separate from me. But here at the level of here is taught that within both me and within you, there is an essence that is beyond this body, this personality, and this mind. This essence, which is what we would call the soul. Okay, S-U-L. Oh, I should use text for this. That essence of soul is none other than, that is what is the Supreme Being within me, within you, within the tree, within the horse, within all that is. That essence of what we call soul is none other than Brahman. Okay? That is the essence. That is the true self. That is what we would call here Atman. Okay? Okay. Oh dear. Okay, oh, this is so hard. Atman. Okay, the soul. You know, so it's written with an N, sometimes without, usually pronounced just with Atma, like that, okay? This is the true essence, the essential self, your soul. Therefore, Atma is Brahman. Okay, and I'm just gonna go BR, all right? It's too hard to write. Atman is Brahman. It's often called the Atman-Brahman equation. The equation. And so what's going to become the goal here in the teachings of the Upanishads is for you to realize your true self, your essential self of who you really are, that the essence of you as soul is none other than the Supreme Being Brahman, okay? And that is something you discover at a deeper level of consciousness within. They often call it the pure consciousness within. Not the mind, which is a cluttered consciousness, what do you call that? That's the word I want. contaminated, in a sense, if you want to think of it that way, contaminated consciousness, a consciousness that's just dominated by things of this world, a consciousness that's dominated by physical desires, likes and dislikes, your heart, what you like or you don't. Oh, you hurt me, I hate you, I want this, I want that, I believe this, I think that, da, da, da. And all that busyness coming from the body, from your emotions, your personality, and from your beliefs and ideas, right? All that is just basically what contaminates, and it's just this busy noise, and that then you can't ever get past that. You think that that is all there is to your consciousness, is that which is dominated by, your body, your heart, and your belief system, right? And they say that you need to undo all of that, remove that kind of contamination of consciousness, to then come to a place of pure consciousness, okay? Pure consciousness. And then when you get to that pure consciousness, that is when you're getting to the essence of your soul. That is where you come into that essence of that oneness with the Supreme Being, that all there is God, in a sense. The union with the divine, right? Just pure Brahman. And you will come to that realization, an experiential realization of Satchidananda, and that an experiential realization of pure being, pure consciousness, pure bliss. That is going to become basically the goal in a lot of Hinduism. Again, it becomes very sectarian, all right, a lot of diversity in Hinduism, but this becomes one of the main teachings that will come out of the Upanishads, all right? Hopefully that makes some sense, okay? You with me on that? Now let me just kind of go to unshare this because it's a mess. Stop the share. Okay, good. There we go. Here I am. All right. Now, let me just read to you. I hope this all makes sense to you guys here. But we will cover it in our live sessions in case it doesn't, and I can explain things more fully, hopefully, if you need that. So Atman is then your true essence, your true essential self, the deepest level of who you really are, which is that pure soul, pure consciousness within, okay? And so here's the definition, and I want you to write this down, okay? This is really key thing. Atma is that state of pure consciousness that is free from and beyond all physical, emotional, psychological, and mental conditions and operations. Okay, this is key. What is your true self, your soul, your essential self, with that here we call Atma? It is that state of pure consciousness that is free from and beyond. Okay, free from and beyond all physical, from the body, emotional, psychological, and mental, your heart, your personality, your mind, your belief system, that you like this, don't like this, hate this, want that, believe this, think that, all that, dominates your sense of what you think is you, right? Your sense of self here in this embodied form. It is Atma is that state of pure consciousness that's free from and beyond all physical, emotional, mental, and psychological conditions and operations. It's just free from that, free from all that contamination. That is your soul, your essence of who you really are, right? And it is key. This is key, right? Okay. Now, what happens though? Now, this is where the ideas here link with, well, why is it we reincarnate? How is it that karma actually works here, right? This is a key thing, is because of our ignorance, because we don't know who we really are, right? We think that this is who I really am, is Linda Christensen in this embodied form with her little personality and her little ideology and belief system and how she has been conditioned by her society, her upbringing, her context. And she's limited her sense of self to that conditioning, and so identified with it, and that she believes this is who I am. And that from that then, all right, out of ignorance of thinking that this is who she is, she then lives out of that. She operates from that. She will then I believe this, I want that, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and you've got all this energy of who you believe and think you are, and you're attached to that. And then you operate out of that. Oh yeah, like that schmuck, he hurt me. Oh, I'm going to get him back. Oh, they did this to me. Oh, I'm going to do this. And like, oh, I so want this. I so want this. Why am I not getting this? Oh, the pain of life. You know, we got all this drama, all right, that we get caught up in, and we're acting out of act, react, boom, 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 with people, against people, for the people, whatever, you know, we're just always in this battle with life. And so we get all this kind of energetic entanglements, and that's how we're creating karma, right? And that's what we're generating here, is through all this activity and interactions, coming out of an illusion of who we think we are, out of our ignorance, right? So that, let me go back to everything I was going to say. So we constantly mistake identifying ourselves with what's really not the truth here in terms of who we really are. We think that this is who I am. And so we're operating out of this. And then we're generating then all this karmic energy as a result of this. And that is what's keeping us in bondage here in terms of future rebirth. Okay. So again, to read a statement here, it's actually a quote from a book, another book. It's because of my ignorance in thinking of myself, okay, as bound up with my body and senses, and because of my desire to perform actions, to act on behalf of this illusory self, that I then generate karma and bind myself, right? Keep myself in bondage to the cycle of birth and death, okay? To the cycle of birth and death. And that's how it all works. Okay, that's how it all works. And that then is what yoga is going to be about, for example, are a lot of the spiritual practices coming up. In fact, you know, this is a key idea that's beautifully spelled out, I think, in Hinduism, you know, that is in a sense latently, you know, present, sometimes rather subconsciously or what have you, not really spelled out, but it's kind of there in most religious traditions, okay, in one way or another. Most religious traditions, definitely, the key thing is, well, it is a key thing all over the place, definitely. It's just, it might be understood in different ways. But all religions, the goal is to shift your sense of identity. Okay, that's a big thing of what the spiritual enterprise, the spiritual journey is all about, is coming into a realization, coming into the truth of who you really are, right? What is your true self here? And then to live from that higher reality is a lot of what this religion business is all about, okay? There'll be tweaks, you know, and twerks as to how that's understood, and that you get the different flavors and differentiations here between the traditions, sometimes very extreme, okay, very different, that they don't necessarily harmonize, who knows, you know, but yeah. Anyways, I better shut up here. I don't want to muddle this more for you, but it's quite universal. But it's really beautifully spelled out here, an important concept in terms of the history of ideas, and specifically the history of religious ideas. I would say this is really probably the best of how it's presented, is, I think, understanding the teachings here in classic Hinduism here. Okay, all right, okay. So anyway, that's hopefully all makes some sense to you guys, all right? And where we go from here now is to go through Patanjali's Yoga Sutras here, and how it gets applied and used to shift your sense of identity from this lower self to your higher self, from your illusory self to your essential self, okay? All right, so good. Hopefully it all makes some sense. Ciao for now.